Let's begin, Dean. Hello, people. This is Jerry speaking. Welcome to TheCrazyBunch's WebShow episode number 75. And today we're doing not one, not two, but four dev topics today. Along with some news reports we're going to be discussing on the TheCrazyBunch's WebShow. And then we're going to do fun facts of the week. So let's do it now. Let's get, shall we? See what we got for us. First one we're going to talk about is Ted White. Born Alex Bayou, okay? Known professionally as Ted White. Was an American stuntman and actor. Was best known for playing Jason Voorhees. Okay? In Friday the 13th, the final chapter. He is also known for having doubled for John Wayne, Fees Parker, Clark Gable, and Richard Boone. He was born as Alex Bayou in Curves, Oklahoma. While growing up in Snyder, Texas, he played football in the University of Oklahoma. Then pursued a stuntman and acting career in Sanson of Yuma in 1949. While it was approached because he was major in the Marine Corps, because background, while they needed a consultant for the layout of the island, okay? But that was then White would meet John Wayne and became doubling for him in 1952, okay? White has made minor roles for several Western films and such television series including Dale Boom, The A. Gribb Show, Hunter, Magnum P.I., and The Rockford Files. Only as in tough guy roles such as police officers, hired thugs, okay? Okay, whatever that was. Anyway, he has also worked in Gone 60 Seconds, Serrano, Major League, Starman, and Tron, okay? 1982 movie. In 1984, White played hockey mass murder, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, after the director needed a large man for the part, okay? White luxury accepted because he needed the money, okay? White asked not to be credited on screen for this part, partly because he did not appreciate how young actors and actresses has been treated during production. Wow. Very credit the archive footage of him as Jason because that was used in a Sam Friday film. White was offered the role of Jason and for Friday the 13th The New Began. And Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, but it turned him down. The roles only went to Sussman, Tom Marga, and C.J. Graham respectively. He died in his home on October 14th, 2022. He was 96 years old. My next step topic has to do with Joyce Sims. He was she was an American singer and songwriter who has the biggest hit single, "Come Into My Life," okay? Which the top 10 of the best United States Billboard R&B charts and UK single charts in 87, 88, okay? She was born in Rochester, New York on August 6, 1959. She was formerly studied music in college, formerly in a number of instruments, okay? In 86, Sims signed a now-defunct record label, Sleeping Bag Records. Her first hit single was "You're My All in All" in 86, which was produced by Curtis Martrunk, okay? That can't be announced anyway. That can't be announced anyway. It reached number 16 in UK singles charts, okay? And here are the US dance charts, number 51. Peaking at number 6, okay? Sims followed up in 1988 with "Come Into My Life," okay? Also produced by Curtis Mantronic. Okay? When peaked number 10 US Billboard R&B charts and number 7 on the UK singles charts. That became her biggest success. Avoided her only top 10 single on the R&B charts, but all in all, her remake of "Love Makes a Woman" with Jimmy Castor was also charts entries. Sims' debut album, Come In My Life, reached number 22 in the US R&B album charts and number 5 in UK albums charts, following the top 10 success of the title track UK singles charts. Although all songs in the album were written by Sims except for Love Makes a Woman, Sims' second album, All About Love, was released in 1989 and reached number 64 in UK albums chart. Wow. In 94, Sims released a single, Who's Crying Now, on Roll Rock Records, which deserved her Sleeping Bag Records contract after purchasing the label in 92. Wow. In 2006, she released a single, What the World Needs Now Is Love, for her album A New Beginning, teaming up with the new record producers, Drew Marquez and Theresa, I haven't announced his last name, sorry. In 2009, Coming to Life, The Very Best of Joy Sims, a double CD of her greatest hits and remixes was released, which includes her original studio versions of the first disc and extended mix in the second disc, okay? That same year, she formed a record label, August Rose Records, and started working on a new album. In 2014, Sims released a studio album, Love Song, which released a duet with Reggie vocalist Maggie Priest, something like that. Sims' music can be heard on the soundtrack of the film Species, with her songs have been recorded and sampled by Randy Carfield, Angie Stone, Snoop Dogg. Sims released Wishing You Were Here was on her own record label, August Rose Records, and another album, Back in Love Again. She died on August 2014, 2022, on unknown causes. She was 63 years old. My next death topic has to do with Ronald Massac. Born Ronald Allen Massac, he was an American actor. He began as a stage performer, but much of his work was in theater until he translated into film and television, okay, where he became a famous character actor. From 88 to 96, he was playing the recurring role of Sheriff Mort Meslicker, I haven't announced his last name, sorry, in the CBS mystery series Mercy Road, starring Andrew Lansbury, the late Andrew Lansbury, that is. Anyway, Massac's early television appears on includes roles of Twilight Zone, Get Smart, The Monkees, A Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, and The Monterey Terror Moore Show. In the 73 to 1973, excuse me, look anyway. He appeared on the ABC variety comedy series Love American Style. He then starred in the ABC series Love Thy Neighbor in 73, but he earned a role in NBC's crime series Police Story 75 to 78, and the ABC sitcom Webster from 83 to 89. From 88 to 96, Massac portrayed the recurring role of Sheriff Mort Maxer on Comic Cove and Mercy Road, taking over the top mostly Sheriff Albus Tauber. Okay? Makes more sense in any way. During that time, he also guest starred on various shows such as Rockford Files, Quincy and Me, Magnum P.I., and Different Strokes. He also known for the film roles such as Ice Station Zebra from 1968, Tora 1970, Harper Valley PTA in 1978. He was born in Chicago, Illinois, to Floyd Lewis Massac and Melford Alice Ruby Massac on July 1st, 1938. His mother was of Irish descent and his father was a Bohemian descent. His personal great-grandfather, Carol Massac, 1861 to 1889, was an immigrant from I can't pronounce it. Server, Cold Voice, traverse near Bitafu. Okay, sorry, I'm pronouncing these names wrong. But anyway, his career began with on film. The Army provided Massac with a platform from which he displayed all-out talent of performing, writing, and directing. In 60 to 61, he toured the world doing vocal impressions, in the all-army show entitled Rolling Along. In 68, he appeared alongside Vince Rapari in the short film Second Effort. That same year, he also appeared in the supporting role in the celebrity action film Ice Station Zebra. In addition to two guest appearances in the sitcom I Dream of Jeannie, he also had a role in the pilot film for Jeannie star Barbara Aston sequence series Harvard Villa Valley PDA. Something like that. I don't know. Work again with Jeannie's co-star Larry Hagman in the episode of the crime series Rockford Files television. His first screen role with Harmonic Man in the Purple Testament episode of the Twilight Zone 1960. He also appeared as Mike the Boxer in The Fly Nun Season 1, Episode 26, When It Was a Will, with his first aired on March 13th, 1968. He also appeared as Opposite 2, on Bewitched, Season Episode 4, Samantha's Hot Bed Warmer. First aired on October 15th, 1970. He also then appeared in Season 5 of 25 in the Ice Cream Shop Manager, which also appeared on 1969. Samantha's Power Failure, as Ivan Bates Sr. in Season 5 of 23, Just a Kid Again. Okay, that makes more sense. Anyway, Massac had guest appearances as Bardrock Jackson in the episode Hurricane on Land of the Lost, okay? He also appeared in the second season of Barry Miller episode called The Horse Thief as Officer Straker, and was a guest star in the Welcome Home Vince episode of Fever and Fathergate in 1977 in the episode called The $2 Million Stowaway of the A. Crappa Mysteries in 1978. In 1981, he guest starred on the Magnum PI episode Skin Deep, okay? He also guest starred in the episode called on Quincy and Me. In the 80s and early 90s, he was dubbed King of Commercials. Wow. For his many commercials, including voiceover work, most normally as Vasek Picklesan, okay? From 1982 to 1983, he voiced Meatballs on the CBS cartoon series Meatballs and Spaghetti. He also did a voice for Roderick Holt in the video game called Master of Honor European Assault. In 1990, Massac was a paid panelist in the revival television game show To Tell the Truth, and appeared on several other game shows like panelists including Madscape, Password Plus, and Super Password. He also appears as A Finale, a taxi driver in the Colombo episode Ashes Ashes in 1998. He was married to K. I can't pronounce his last name, sorry. It starts with a K. In September 1961, Theresa had 6 children. He also had first cousin of actor Michael Gross, of Fairy Ties and former Saturday Night Live cast member Mary Gross, okay? Makes sense anyway. He was a sheriff of Cozumel, California for 35 years. On October 20th, 2022, he died in Thousand Oaks, California. He was 86 years old. And my last death topic has to appear. I can't pronounce his last name. But anyway, he was an American art critic, poet, and educator. He was known for being an art critic for The New Yorker. Having early earlier written for the Village Voice, Art News, and New York Times. He was born in Fargo, North Dakota on March 20th, 1942, to his father, Gilmore, the inventor of the air sickness bag, and whose company would produce NASA's first communication satellites, and his mother, Charlton Hanson, was Gilmore's office manager. Okay, that makes more sense. Anyway, he was raised in a small town throughout his home state in Minnesota. He studied at Carleton College and New School. He began his professional writing career as a reporter in 1962 in the Jersey Journal, in Jersey City and Minnesota, I pronounce it, art critic. He traveled to Paris in 1964 and remained there for a year before settling in New York City in 1965. Upon moving to New York, he would work as an art critic for Art News, New York Times, and Village Voice from 1990 to 1998. Okay? And 7 days corporate reunion in 1998, he joined the New Yorker, where he was head art critic. His writings also appeared in Art Forum, on America, New York Times Magazine, Voyage, and Vanity Fair. During his career, he also wrote books on poetry as well as art criticism. He published his final book, Hot, Cold, Heavy, Light, Art Writings, 1988 to 2018 in June 2019. He also taught at Auburn University in the Department of Visual and Environmental Studies for 4 years during the late 90s and early 2000s, which I was a kid at that time. Poet. His poetry fails with many of his characteristic themes and styles in New York school. Okay? As a commercially postmodern poet, he believed that poetry should be enjoyed and understood by all readers. In an interview with the Virginia Commonwealth University's Blackburn, he commented on how there are no rewards in being observed or overburdened, how pronounced it. Anyway, his poetry often addresses common experience or more familiar events. His poem, My Generation, opens with Vietnam, drugs, civil rights, rock, Watergate, and that war. Yeah, Watergate here, it's from 1973 for Robin and Jim were there. Anyway, are the blows of history that have left my generation. Is Peril Baron sorry, I haven't pronounced this word, sorry. In an interview with Blackbird, he stated, writing things that people want to read is my bread and butter. Wow. His war begins with it was war Guggenheim Fellowship in 1995. In 1980, he received a Frank Joliet Maffer Award for art criticism by the College Art Association. Starring at Francine Clark Art Institute, named Pierre so I can't pronounce this last. As the winner of the 2008 Clark Prize of Excellence in Art Writing. Wow. Okay, makes more sense. Anyway, the prize was established in 2016. They will recognize hit writers who advance public relations of visual art in a way that is grounded in scholarship yet appeals to broad range of audiences. It came with $25,000 organization, an award designed by archivist Tadu Anu. Okay. Colony College bestowed an honorary degree doctor with unread letters on his Costa to him as part of the consummate of exercises on June 13, 2015. 7 years later, he was nominated to Personal Prize for Criticism for acceptable and dedicated art criticism that introduces or revisits payers. Institute movements, something like that, art of offering tender appreciations and flattering distance. He married and later divorced by a woman who was probably referred to as L. He lived in New York City. He was married to Donnie Brooks Anderson, a former actress, till his death. Together they have one child, Ada, called yeah, you have to pronounce his last name. Sorry. Who under the name Ada Carhan. In 2019, he was diagnosed with lung cancer, and he died yesterday in his home in Bonneville, New York. He was 80 years old. Now, let's do the moment of silence with regards to these 4 people I mentioned right now. Hold on. Come in.
No. I'm gonna go pick up dinner in probably like 20, 30 minutes, right?
It's fine. It's fine. But anyway, thank you. Recipes to these 4 people. And I got at least a lot of topics to read, and then we're gonna do now is get this completion, and let's do it anyway. What does the first one I got is, what does G4 shutting down mean for television? Traditional TV continues to struggle against streaming platforms. G4 is initially shut down again. Right, but that doesn't make any sense to us. But anyway, well, does that make sense? But I don't know. And Remix made me solve this. Anyway, G4 Television has shut down as of Sunday, October 16th. The Gaming and Worst Esports channel has begun to shut down before it was rebooted in 2020. After being off the air for 7 years. Comcast Spectrum owned G4 and intended to revive the channel in an effort to add its areas of sports and esports broadcasting. But it seemed the demand for esports and gaming content of network television and diminished some finally have announced it. The decision comes after the studio and networks community failed to make a profit. Although G4 was making some popularity in the early 2000s, I'm not a huge fan of G4 at that time frame, but I was now, you know. Most of would-be viewers will now look at gaming content for elsewhere. Well, games shall be better than that. Ugh. G4 shutdown was another of the series of downfalls. The network television's experiencing around the industry. For it's no secret that the streaming services are steadily behind becoming more popular. It seems that big television companies are starting to feel like the impact of the change in a big way. With NBC trimming its 10 p.m. primetime television block, David Nevins leaving Paramount, and Warner Bros. Discovery expanding HBO Max. Wow, there's just one more in the long list of events is monitoring the shift away from digital television. G4 but it wasn't popular. To cover that there's dramatic that gets more in this content from streaming platforms. Now the final shutdown began when I finally realized that one of my favorite shows, Attack of the Show, came out in 2002, in the 2000s. Now, it first launched in 2002 by NBC Universal. The channel ran for years with popular programs such as Attack of the Show, which I've seen since this video, which I'll talk about a little bit, and X-Play. And having Eaton's own broadcast studio meant to host professional esports events. But after it was popularity, NBC Universal shut down G4 in 2013. The Competent Spectator officially brought it back in November 16, 2021. The group advised many of the shows from its own run of television. They even hired 4 employees from the channel back, like Brian Terwilliger, how to pronounce it, Brian Helter. But now, under a year later, G4 will be shutting down once more, resulting in a layoff of 45 employees. Jesus. Anyway, Comcast Spectator tried to make G4 rebellion by bringing its talent from YouTube, Twitch, and recognizing esports personalities such as Alex Gunboy, Menace, Titan Games. Wow. Ollie May, and Folkestone. Named as YouTube includes Captain G, which I've seen before from the No One Orange episode called Cool as a Cucumber episode. Jared the completionist Kyle, and Gina Darling. Okay? G4 even bought Twitch streamers such as Fonia Nova and Will Neff, how to pronounce it. Well, some not human live streamers like Michael, and the great rat puppet Ray, okay? So the effort to bring the channel back was not effortless, and argument of TV's changed quadrant sound range, okay? Now Deadline is offering obtaining a company-wide memo in which David Scott, CEO and chairman of Comcast Spectator, said this: over the past several months, we worked on hard to generate that instance of G4, but viewership is low and the network has not achieved substantial results. This is currently not what we hoped for. The result that was made the very difficult decision to discontinue G4's operations, especially immediately. I know this is disappointing news, and I'm disappointed as well. And I thank you for everyone, the G4 team, the hard work and commitment to the network. Now, Spectator's efforts in the programming were always focused on more traditional sports broadcasting, with the company owning the Philadelphia Flyers. G4 seemed to be more of a light foray in the spec for esports brawl. The Spectator was unable to maintain the Harvey seemed to live in it all. Now, it's a traditional TV change and seeing this, okay? G4's never been a sample of broadcast television. If anything, and it was a network first attempt at adopting the new form of entertainment. If anything, as much of a sign of change would come to Comedy Central losing Trevor Noah as the host of the Daily Show, which I have seen as a kid, which is part of the entertainment world makes people laugh about politics, which I've seen in PBS News hours as a kid. But anyway, and wondering if late night talk shows would continue to be relevant on streaming platforms or not. But G4 hosts that strange place in TV where networks are trying to bridge the gap that between regular television and events that are more often shown on the internet. G4 is focusing on esports, focusing on the companionship with the big streaming websites like Twitch, which is certainly the biggest place to go for esports events like G4 aim to entertain a crowd of viewers that usually got the content from the internet. So the program reflected the type of content one would typically see from YouTube, sketch comedy groups, and like Smosh, for example, and people like that produce Mima, something like that. The end of G4 was somewhat highlighted with the company president Russell Owens leaving that just 2 months earlier, but that might give people pause who have recently seen executives from Paramount leaving the company. G4 was TV's effort to try and scratch itself in the new era of entertainment. More retro TV programs losing traction. One wonders the television as we knew if we were going to exist a decade from now. With streaming platforms posting that replace both society television networks, the question is it broadcast television would collapse, but when? I don't know. It was bad news for everybody from the gaming world. Remix gonna miss this if he's watching this. Screensavers and so forth. I'm not gonna miss it because of this show, seen here. Now I'm not gonna play it due to copyright reasons, but here it is. But there you go. It's from uploaded by Green Monster Brimmer. And thank him for bringing it back. So there you go. This scene here is the title of the show. It has a Smosh video that I've seen uploaded from YouTube, and I love it from the dead. So there you go. It is the best video I've ever seen thus far. But there you go. And there you go. It was probably best if I have seen this video and the one I've seen better than this. You know, that's just me. You know, ever since I saw that in late 2000s, I was hooked by this. You know, and G4 was better than in this than it was in the early 2000s. I'm not gonna say that it was better for YouTube for this whole YouTube thing that was last time, you know, and then say, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. So there you go. That's why I talk about this, you know, when a Smosh history thing is happening. That was it, you know, and then YouTube's like, oh my god, do we have to see this? Yes, we do. You gotta do something. I'm not gonna, and like I said, I'm not gonna be able to play this due to copyright reasons because G4 doesn't allow me to do that. So there you go. And plus, that was all Smosh's idea. So there you go. It's gonna be all there. So there you go on that, and all it is just true. And there you go. It must be bring back memories from G4 memories. So there you go. It must be there. So yeah, I really love it. Bring back memories from this whole thing. So there you go. It brings back a lot of great memories, and this pop in the whole thing. So yeah, I really love it. So yeah, I just really wanted to bring back this video from the mix. And I'd like to thank Dream Master River to bring this upload back. Original upload on Smosh Pay on YouTube. Thanks to that reasons, but it's already 155 subscribers already. Not as 49 viewers already. Since I'm watching nearly 50 viewers already. Jeez. Anyway, and then, oh boy, that was it. That was it, you know. You know, I would love to see that, but you know, that's just me. Anyway, that's all I do want to watch, so it took me like 2 minutes to watch this. So there you go. That was basically it for right now. Now move on to my next topic. That is an Apple topic. Now, recently, oh my god, this is gonna be epic. Now, first of all, I'm not gonna read all of this. Oh, I am gonna read all of this. Never mind. It's okay. There we go. Top stories: new iPad Pro, iPad, Apple TV, and more announced. Okay. It all started today, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Okay. Largely aligned with expressions, we saw a number of Apple product updates this week via the press release with the iPad Pro, iPad, and Apple TV. Excuse me, okay? All 3 products are available to order now with launches coming in next couple weeks, okay? We also got an official combination of release dates from macOS Resignation and iPadOS 16, which will expand into some macOS updates before the end of the year. That will come in. These 2 will come in this Monday. Be on lookout for that. But anyway, we're expanding next month, which is this month, by the way. So we all be more of all details. Anyway, everything about Apple has announced this week: iPad Pro with M2 chip, redesigned iPad, and updated iPad, Apple TV, and more. Now, while there's no Apple event this week, well, just reasons. There's no eligible react special event this week at all. It was a busy time, very busy time with Apple announcing the new iPad Pro models and the M2 chip, redesigned 10th generation iPad, wow, an updated Apple TV and more. Apple also confirmed that macOS Vitrina, iPadOS 16, and iOS 60.0 will also be released on Monday, October 24th. Be lookout for those. Anyway, so we put together a video recap and everything that Apple announced and share links to all of those coverage. See here on MacRumors.com. Be lookout for those. But anyway, latest episode of Mac Rumors Show discussed with all the announcements. So yeah, I want to make sure about that. Anyway, Apple announced new iPad Pro with M2 chip and more. The M chip inch and 12.9 inch iPad Pro received a variety of minor updates this week. The M2 chip, okay, supports a new Apple Pencil, however, functionality with Wi-Fi 6E support, okay, ProRes video record, okay. Anyway, the new iPad Pro is available to order now and launches on Wednesday, October 26th, which is this Wednesday coming up. In the United States, prices continue to start at $799 for the 11-inch model and $199 for the $12 the 12.9-inch model. Apple reveals 10 Gen iPad with complete redesign, 10.9-inch display, USB-C, and more. The entire level of iPads received a complete design this week. Now features a larger 10.9-inch display with similar bezels, a USB-C port, Touch ID power off button, something like that, landscape FaceTime, camera, and an A14 Bionic chip. Prices now starts at $499, something like that. Anyway, despite getting flat edges, the new iPad is still only compatible with the original iPad Apple Pencil, but its adapter is now required with pairing and charging an accessory. The adapter has quickly become a meme and on social media. Wow. Apple has finally announced the new iPad Apple TV 4K with A15 Bionic chip and HDR10 Plus for $129. The Apple TV 4K received a spec bump this week with the new features including the A15 Bionic chip, HDR10 Plus video support up to 128 gigabytes of storage, a serial remote with USB-C port for charging, and more. Price now starting lower than $129. New Apple TV is fair, but lighter than the fanless design. It's also had an increased RAM. In total, there was at least 10 new features and changes with the new Apple TV. Be sure to check out a list of everything that is new. Now, I'm looking at updates on my iPad mini and the macOS Vitrina. Anyway, these two with Stage Manager and more launching October 24th, which is Monday. Apple this week announced release dates for macOS Vitrina and iPadOS 16. Both updates will be available starting this Monday. A keynote new feature of both updates of Stage Manager, okay? Both variation varies on each platforms, okay? There are still some layering issues from the iPad mini, iPad versions of the feature in the latest betas. Both updates will likely be released at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Monday. Okay, 1 p.m. that is. And iOS 16.1 launches this same Monday with these 8 new features. iOS 16.1 will also be released on that Monday, according to Apple. The update includes 8 normal features on the iPhone users, including live art activities and third-party apps, iCloud shared photo library, Apple Fitness Plus without an Apple Watch, and more. There's also some previously announced iOS 16 features that are still yet to be released, such as Apple new digital canvas app Freeform and emerging SOS via satellite. Okay? And finally, new MacBook Pro and Mac Mini with M2 Pro chips likely to be launched in next month. With the leaks and announcements of iPad Pro and iPad and Apple TV models out of the way, attention now turns to the Mac users. Rumors suggest that Apple plans to launch new high-end MacBook Pro and Mac Mini models and M2 series chips later this year. In this newsletter this week, Bloomberg's Mac Garmin said that the additional version of macOS Katrina will include support for new 14-inch and 60-inch MacBook Pro models, okay? We expect to be released in the near future. As for the Mac Mini, German previously claimed that new models with both M2 and M2 Pro chip, option was in development. Those are also likely to be before the end of the year. And finally, a Mac Movers newsletter. Each week we'll publish an email newsletter likely with the top Apple stories, making it a great way to get a bite-sized recap in the weeks and all the major topics we covered and tying together related to stories and the big picture view. So yeah, that's all it is, that topic. Now let's move on to this political story. UK Prime Minister Liz Truss resigns as Prime Minister after failed budget market turmoil. Anyway, keynote points are as follows. Truss is in office for just 44 days, making her the shortest serving Prime Minister in British history. For 10 days, her partnership government business was paused following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. On September 23rd, Truss Financial Minister Kwasi Kwarteng, something like that, announced the so-called mini budget, which began a turbulent period for the UK bond market, which sparked the debt funds tax cuts that he put forward. Most of his policies were reversed 3 weeks later by the second finance minister, Jeremy Hunt. Okay. Now, in London, UK Prime Minister Liz Truss resigned Thursday following the failed Truss tax cutting budget that brought financial markets and which lead to revolt within her own Conservative Party. Truss was in the office for just 44 days, making her the shortest service Prime Minister in British history. For 10 days, the partnership government business was paused following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. She said in a statement outside 10 Downing Street, "We set up a mission to low tax, high growth in an economy that would take advantage for the free forms of Brexit, okay? I recognize, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate of which I was elected by the Conservative Party. Something that I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to announce that I'm resigning as leader of the Conservative Party. The party is now due to complete a leadership election within the next week. Much faster than the summer's 2-month period. Graham Bray, the Conservative politician who was in charge of the leadership, votes and reshuffles, told reporters he was now looking for how the vote could include some Conservative MPs and the wider party's members. Truss' resignation came after the meeting with Bray, who chairs the 1922 committee. The group of Conservative MPs without ministerial politicians could submit letters of no combinations in the Prime Minister, okay? Just before the meeting, a Downing Street spokesperson told reporters Truss wanted to stay in the office. During the hour the meeting lasted, the number of coalition MPs publicly calling for Truss to step down reached 17. Okay. Number 2 was written letters to Bray expressing no confidence. The Prime Minister was reported to be more than 100 by Thursday. The pound was up to 0.6 on the day against the dollar at 5 p.m., trading at $1,128. It remains the level that was on September 22nd before Truss walking moving budget. Gilt yields initially it felt that before was later flat in the day. Opposition parties, Labour, Scottish National Party, and the Liberal Democrats calling for the imminent general election on Thursday afternoon. His leader, Keir Starmer, said the combination party has shown its no longer a mandate to govern. Okay, on September 23rd, Truss Beyonce Minister Kwasi Clark, and you can't pronounce his first and last name. Sorry, announced a so-called mini budget, something like that, and which began a turbulent period for UK bond markets, which bought as the debt-funded tax cuts he put forward. Most of the policies were reversed 3 weeks later, something like that. Anyway, as the second fantasy minister, Jeremy Hunt. Okay. Truss beat Rusty Stock to become leader of the Conservative Party following the resignation of Boris Johnson on July 7th this year. Stock was now one of the favorites to succeed Truss, along with Hunt. Other leadership convinced her Penny Mordaunt, Defense Minister Banda Wallace, and former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Okay? Resignation leaves the status of Conversation's expected budget update on Halloween night uncertain, okay? But Truss said the leadership I know would ensure we must remain on the path to deliver on cultural plans, okay? In a statement, Truss suggested that legacies of her belief center were supportive households with energy bills and cutting the rate of national insurance. As General tax in Britain, the cut was one of the very few measures of the mini budget to remain, while the energy support package, which was initially set to run for 2 years, but reduced for 6 months. Okay. She also said the UK had continued to stand with Ukraine to protect our own security. U.S. President Joe Biden said in response to the news, the United States and the United Kingdom are strong allies and enduring friends, and that fact will never change. I thank Prime Minister Liz Truss for a partnership with a range of issues, including holding Russia accountable for the war against Ukraine. We will continue our close cooperation with the UK government as we work together to meet global challenges for national face. I gain trust, okay? Paul Dales, chief UK economist at the Capital Companies, from that I don't know, said the new PM would be needed to do more to regain the trust in financial markets, okay? In just a few weeks, fiscal policy swung from being ultra loose to less loose to right tight, something like that. I don't know. He said in the note. overall, the resignation of Truss and the step that needed to happen in the UK government for alongside the path towards restoring the celebrity in the eyes in the financial markets. But more needs to be done, and the new Prime Minister or Chancellor have a big task to navigate the economy through the cost of living crisis, cost of borrowing crisis, and cost of celebrity crisis. Think tank Mark Quire said in the report in the UK Thursday that a drawn out Resignation, how pronunciation that lies ahead now that overseas investors have lost faith in policymakers forcing monetary policy commentary to hike bank rate quickly and the government deciding fiscal policy. The UK economy was already weakened before the communist money mini budget. The office wrote, looking for the nation to face a likely pullback in consumer spending, squeeze in households, despite incomes, lower employment, and higher interest rates, snuffing out recovery business and investment framework added. So that was that topic. Now let's move on to Tim Burton. Think these days working with Disney are done. Now, Tim Burton is the great director of Nightmare Before Christmas, and of course Frankie Winnie. Now, if you watch this Bob show, you're not gonna love this topic. Anyway, it saddens me to say this, but he's leaving Disney for good. Anyway, why I'm saying this because Disney and Tim Burton have worked together on many projects over the years, including the entire animated films includes Nightmare Before Christmas and Frankie Winnie, plus the live-action version of Dumbo and Whoopie-Doo Alice in Wonderland movie. Anyway, but it doesn't look like there will be a cooperating on any more projects after this. While taking part in the panel at the Liberty Festival in Lyon, France, Tim Burton spoke about how Disney is now focused on Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars franchises, okay? It's going to be very homogenized like that, very consolidated, that less room for different types of things. Tim also said that it would be very unlikely that he would ever do a Marvel movie. I can only deal with one universe, I can't deal with another a multiverse. And following his experience working on the live-action version of Dumbo, Disney, he's unlikely to work with Disney in the future. My history is I started out there. I was fired like several times throughout my career there. The thing about Dumbo is that's why I think my days at Disney are done. I realized that I was Dumbo, and I was working in this horrible big circus, and I needed to escape. That movie is quite autobiographical at a certain level. Tim Burton and Disney have worked together on many projects in the past, but at least now we can enjoy the previous films on Disney Plus. Now, that's that topic, so it was sad to see Tim Burton go. Now let's move on to this last topic, and that is, of course, 2 classic Mario Party games are coming to Nintendo Switch next month. The N64 collection continues to grow. Anyway, Nintendo also announced that 2 classic Mario Party games are coming to Nintendo Switch online early next month. Sharing a new tweet yesterday, October 21st, like yesterday that is. The publisher revealed that Mario Party and Mario Party 2 are the next games to be joining the Nintendo 64 collection via its Switch Online service on November 2nd. Mario Party launched for the Nintendo 64 system in 1999. It was an original game that kicked off the popular series. The game is a 4-player party game and allow players to interact across the 9 adventure boards and 56 main games, either in multiplayer and solo mode, okay? Mario Party 2 was released 1 year later in 2000, but this time around featuring Bowser bashing board game action with new costumes, adventure boards, and eventual mini games. Both titles joined the Nintendo 64 collection, which already features games such as Super Mario 64, Legend of Zelda, Alternate Time, Star Fox 64, and Banjo-Kazooie. I'm announcing this word, sorry. Many beloved games for the classic console. Of course, those switching to playing the two Mario games, party games, something like that, would need to subscribe to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus and Fashion Pack cards, which I don't have as of yet currently, which gives users the access to online play across NES and SNES games, along with coverage of N64 and Sega Genesis Mega Drive games, and Metroid's expansion of Switch games. Back in May, Nintendo's president signed to retire for something like that, I don't know. From this company intends on expanding its Switch Online library. He also revealed that the total subscribers in Nintendo Switch Online has not yet updated for the 32 million subscribers when he disclosed that last September. But it's gradually increasing as the sales of Nintendo Switches increases. In other news, it has been confirmed that God of War Ragnarok will feature a number of preferred graphics settings with the net players to choose from, equaling a feature of that targets 120 frames per second in performance mode. Wow, that was very exciting. So that was all the topics I need to read. Now let's move on to what I got today. I'm gonna close this tab. That's a big no-no. Anyway, I got 3 fun facts of the week to read. One of them has to do with Empire Con. Now, what I got, I just got, I showed you the items I got from Empire Con. Now, what do I think about Empire Con at Springfield, Georgia? I think it was amazing. Although I would say I have spun the wheel and I got this 3-day pass at the gym. It was amazing. And then I thought it was great and all. And unfortunately, I didn't tape anything during the vlog episode, unfortunately. But I did, however, say this, okay? I just meet the Hulk and She-Hulk. I'm like, wow. During the wheel. And then meanwhile, Luigi lady's like, why'd you have your camera on? Because I was just not wasting my battery here. And then yes, I'm just turning on my camera because of several reasons. Because I want to show my that and things on Facebook, blah blah. But that's just me. Anyway, then that was it. But I couldn't do it anyway. Fortunately, sad to say. There's no pictures on my main channel. None of that. Unfortunately, but that won't happen. But anyway, no, it's just Squad Vlogs episode 49 today. Fortunately, but that's just me. But anyway, and my second one of those fun facts of the week is this. Bear in the Baby House celebrated its 25th anniversary last week, or 2 days ago. Now, what is Bear in the Baby House, you may ask? Well, Bear in the Baby House is an American children's television series created by Mitchell Gregman and produced by the Jim Henson Television, but Disney Channel's Playhouse Disney, which I grew up with. Preschool television blog. Debuted on October 20th, 1997, and aired our last episode on April 26, 2006. 2006. Anyway, reruns of the program continued to air on Playhouse Disney until May 6, 2010. In 2004, the Jim Henson Company sold the rights to the show, including characters, content library, and copyrights, to Walt Disney Company. It's now owned by the Muppet Studio. Okay? Somebody of Disney that also owns and named after the Muppets, characters, and copyrights. Now, think about my childhood, okay? I grew up with this show, and it also airs a spin-off, including, and somehow before it got canceled, okay? It has a show called Breakfast with Bear. Final run of the new episodes aired on the Disney Channel in April 2006, The last episode aired on April 28, 2006. Repeats on the show ceased altogether in May 2010, December 2010 UK. Tickman was posthumously nominated for the Disney Daytime Emmy Award winner for voicing Luna. Now, she passed away in 2003. Now, who is Luna, you may ask? Now, Luna on the Moon is voiced by this actress, okay? She was born, Charlene Theresa Tigman, okay? She was an American actress on screen, stage, and screen, okay? She was known for her role as a chief of Acme Crime in the game show Where in the World Carmen San Diego, various spin-offs, and her role of Luna on the Moon in the playoffs Disney children's series Bear in the River House for her very television work. She was nominated for 6 Daytime Emmy Awards. She won a Tony Award in 1997 portraying Dr. Jules Kaufman in American Daughter, and also portraying Alice Farmer in The Dusters in 2000 till her death in 2003 on March 12th. Anyway, that's where it is when she began as Luna before her death. Now, I don't know who began as Luna, so yeah, she's like, "Hello there, how did you get in the Big Blue House?" Anyway, that's my Bear in the Big Blue House topic. Now I got one more fun fact of the week to begin with. Now, 45 years ago this week, Bad to Hell came out on record stores. Now, it's a 1977 debut album by the American rock singer Meatloaf and composer Jim Steinman. It's one of the best-selling albums in history. Okay? The album developed from the musical Neverland and commercial rock version of Peter Pan, which Steinman wrote in the workshop in 1974. It was recorded during 1975 and 1976 in Virgin Studios, including Barrister Studios in Workshop, New York, produced by Todd Rundgren, okay? And released in October 1997, which is several years ago. Anyway, 45 years ago. Anyway, by Cleveland International Epic Records. Bad Hell spawned 2 Meatloaf sequels albums. Bad Hell 2, Back in Hell in 1993, and Back in Hell 3, Monsters Loose in 2006. I'll talk about more about Bad Hell until 1, 2, and 3 in another time. Right now, I'll have to mention up to you, okay? Bad Hell 50 in 5 years from now. But anyway, Bad Hell has sold over 43 million copies worldwide. It is certified 14 times platinum by the Recording Industries Association of America, RIAA for short. It is a best-selling album in Australia. Wow. As of June 2019, it spent 522 weeks in the UK albums charts. Wow. It's the second longest chart by the studio album. Rolling Stone wagging the number 343 on this list in the 500 greatest albums of all time. Musical based on the Bad Hell, staged by Jay Streb, something like that. Open at the Manchester Opera House on February 17th, 2017. Foreign transported to the London Coliseum and Toronto's at Massac Theatre in late 2017. From April 2nd, 2018 till January 5th, 2019, the show was performed at the Dominant Theatre in London for a short run that year, same year in the United States. So that's all I have for fun facts of the week and double episode of the Crazy Bunch Web Show episode number 75. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one, which is going to be next episode I'm going to do is Halloween theme. Crazy Bunch Web Show episode number 76. It's going to be happening. But anyway. Till next time. Sue Jones and Bob So Baby. Get more Crazy Bunch Web Shows, guys. Pursue. Till Wednesday out. See ya.